I now call to order the business of July 28th, 2015. Mr. Clerk, will you please take the roll?
Ned Apigian.
Present.
Kenneth Barron.
Here?
Thomas Berry.
Here.
Robert Constant.
Here.
Lisa Hicks Clayton.
Here.
Margaret Horvath is absent. Joseph Kosinski.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum.
Thank you. We have with us today our police chief's dad, Lee Gavin, and I'd like to ask him to please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, Mr. Gavin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda.
Mr. Chairman.
Councilwoman Hicks Clayton.
Yes, thank you. I move to approve the order of business July 28th, 2015, regular meeting of the Dearborn Heights City Council as submitted. Thank you.
Second by Councilman Kozinski. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 4, approval of the minutes. 4A, the minutes of the regular meeting of July 14, 2015.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Kozinski.
move that the council approve the minutes of the July 14, 2015 meeting as presented.
Support.
Second by Councilman Constant. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 4B, minutes of for the special meeting of July 21st, 2015.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilwoman Hicks Clayton.
I move to approve the minutes from July 21st, 2015, special meeting of Dearborn Heights City Council as outlined in 4B.
Second.
Second by Councilman Kozinski. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 6, fund transfers and current claims.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Kozinski.
move council approve the current claims listed 6/1 through 6/28 as they are presented.
Support.
Second by Councilman Constant. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 8, reports from the mayor. 8A, from Mayor Pleco, amendment to article incorporation for the Downriver Utility Water Authority.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Kozinski.
I move that the council concur with the resolution regarding the approval of the amended articles of incorporation of the Downriver Utility Watershed Authority as presented to the council before this meeting.
Support.
Second by Councilwoman Hicks Clayton. We did have the actual amendment resolution.
Yeah, and I apologize, Doug, because it wasn't the clerk's office. I forgot or neglected to give the resolution, but it was prepared by Patrick McCulley, so our joint corporation counsel or assistant corporation counsel.
And certainly the appropriate, authorize the appropriate signatures to be attached to the resolution.
Okay,
Yes.
second? Okay, good. Second is, any discussion?
It's a great idea. It's
Yeah, well. All in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 9, reports from city officials. 9A, from Treasurer Riley, purchase of computers and components utilizing American Express corporate membership reward points.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Apigian.
I move to approve of Treasurer Riley's recommendations that the City Council authorize Dearborn IT to utilize our American Express corporate membership reward points to purchase computer peripherals, hardware, software for 33 computers to be used for various city departments. American Express points are worth about $36,000 on Amazon as outlined in 9A.
Support.
Second by Councilman Berry. Is there any discussion? We do have Doug Feldkamp here if anyone has any questions on what's going to be done, what's going to be happening. I mean,
36 computers.
Thank you.
we're getting there, right, Doug?
You're getting there.
Good, good.
We all taken care of it. This will take care of peripherals and some of the other areas.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, thank you. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 9B from Treasurer Riley, Investment of Funds Report for June 30th, 2015.
Mr. Chairman.
Chairman.
Councilman Apigian?
Mr. Chairman, I concur with Plant Moran's recommendation that we note and file the attached funds report for June 30th, 2014, as presented to us by John Riley, Treasurer of our city.
Second.
Second by Councilman Kozinski. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 9C from Public Service Administrator Zimmer, recommendation of award for the Beach Daily Road water main improvements.
Mr. Chair,
Councilman Berry.
move City Council concur and award the contract for the Beach Daily water main improvements to D&D Water and Sewer from Canton, Michigan in the amount of $573,000 and establish a construction engineer budget for Wade Trim in the amount of $60,000 as outlined on 9C.
Second.
Support.
Second by Councilman Kozinski. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 9D from Public Service Administrator Zimmer, Johnson Control Service Agreement.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Apigian?
I move to approve of the recommendations of our Public Service Administrator, William Zimmer, to accept the two proposals to renew our service agreements for HVAC services for Johnson Controls, which reflects no cost increase for the third straight year, as outlined in detail in 9D.
Support.
Second by Councilman Berry. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Kozinski.
I have a question for Director Zimmer. The payment of these maintenance agreements will occur on a quarterly basis. And do you have, or is there available, a log of maintenance activity that is furnished you by Johnson Controls? Is that available for anybody's review?
Yes, it is. We have all that.
Okay, so that's in your possession? Thank you.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 9E from Public Service Administrator Zimmer, disposal of lawnmowers.
Mr. Chairman.
Councilman Constant?
I move we concur with our Public Service Administrator William Zimmer and approve of the disposal of the equipment as outlined in 9E.
Second.
Support.
Second by Councilman Apigian. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 9F from Recreation Deputy Director Constant, smart contract.
Mr. Chair,
Councilman Berry.
move City Council concur with the smart contract, authorize the mayor and the city clerk to sign the 3 copies of the municipal and community credit contract for the year 2016 and submit it to SMART as outlined in 9F.
Support.
Second by Councilwoman Hicks Clayton. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 9G from Recreation Deputy Director Constant, new smart bus.
Mr. Chairman.
Chairman.
Councilwoman Hicks Clayton.
Thank you. I move to concur and authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign the 3 copies of the Community Partnership Program contract with the original signatures, return them to Deputy Director Kim Constant, along with the insurance certificate and other documents as outlined in 9G.
Second.
Second by Councilman Kozinski. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 13, new business, 13A business license renewal for Confetti Liquor Box, 3932 Pelham, The Dog House, 21350 Van Born, and Irwin's Auto Sales, 23706 Van Born.
Mr.
Mr.
Chair,
Chairman.
Councilman Berry?
I have just a couple of questions before we motion to approve
Is
these
that okay?
licenses.
Okay, go ahead.
I notice on the first one before us, none of the boxes are checked to the left here. On the second one, we do have a box that's checked. So am I to assume that there are no pending issues with the first license?
On the back of the first license, it does have, and that is for the confetti.
Yeah.
It shows that they're,
And I don't mean to
Taxes
imply
not
that they're,
paid, but-
I'm just, I know that this was put together, and I appreciate the clerk's effort in doing this, but I'd like to see if we can just get that
but everything is up to
hashed,
date.
everything's up to date. And then, my second, my second observation is that we have Irwin's here. We removed it last week, because we had some questions as to whether they were in compliance. And I'm told that we're all up to date with that now. And I did hear that the way I possibly made the motion to remove that should not have been handled that way.
There are other ways that it could have ended
Yeah,
up being handled.
yeah.
We took care of it in court today.
Good, thank you.
Mr. Chair?
Councilman Constant?
I want to applaud Councilman Berry because there has been some big improvements on the property. It's a used car business on Van Born, and there's been some big changes, first I've seen in years and years and years.
So if I may make that
Good work.
motion? Yeah, thank you.
Councilman Berry?
Motion to approve the business licenses for 15A as outlined, or is it 13?
13A.
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 Is outlined in 13A.
Second.
Second by Councilman Kozinski. Is there any discussion?
We had it.
Hearing none. All in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. This ends our regular business, and before I ask for any council members, I would like to thank Councilman Berry for running that last meeting while I was at a conference in Chicago, and my granddaughter has Angelman, and it's always very enlightening and see what's happening, and hopefully there'll be a cure for it someday. So any discussion from the council?
Mr. Chairman?
Councilwoman Hicks Clayton.
Thank you. Yes, I wanted to announce that, of course, August is upon us, and August features National Night Out, which is Crime Prevention Awareness. The Dearborn Area Chamber of Commerce will hold their annual Family Fun Day next week on Tuesday, August 4th, at Van Helton Park in Dearborn Heights from 4 to 8 p.m. And this is an opportunity to explore area businesses along with there'll be free miniature golf, free bowling, opportunities for hot dogs, ice cream, a bounce house sponsored by Dearborn Heights Kiwanis Club and the Rotary Club. In addition, the Dearborn Heights Light Up the Night, the crime prevention information program, will be on hand with the pledge cards and some other communication opportunities. And I also wanted to let residents know that the Dearborn Heights Disability Commission will be on hand with the medical emergency communication program, the Plan in a Can. So please come out and join us. In addition, we are organizing neighborhood crime prevention walks during the month of August. And currently, we have 3 scheduled. One is in Gulfview Manor on Thursday, July 30th. Heather Lane Park on Wednesday, August 19th, and Van Helton Park on Wednesday, August 12th. So if you're interested and like more information, please call 313-348-9848. Thank you.
Any other further discussion from the council?
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Kozinski.
the council member to my right is absent. Councilwoman Horvat doesn't miss a meeting unless there's absolute necessity. We send her good wishes and for a quick recovery from surgery. So please get back here and warm this chair better than it is now. We wish you well and a speedy recovery.
I second that.
Yeah.
Second.
Okay. Anything else on the council? Mayor, did you have anything today?
2 things. I want to alert everybody to a couple things that are coming down the pike that could have a significant effect on water rates. Number one is the County of Wayne has not submitted to any of the communities the new water rate increases. And what kind of bothers me is in hearing why they were not ready, they indicated we need to get an actuarial value for legacy cost. So that tells me that the rates are going to be increased, I guess, to cover legacy costs. So I am waiting to get those rates, what they are composed of, and I may be getting hold of Patrick McCully and Gary Miatke because we may challenge those particular. The other item that also is a negative for rates, and we have not seen it, is with the reformation of the suburban portion of the Detroit wastewater or Detroit water system, DWSD as it was, that's known by, and now it's going to, forget the new entity, but I think we were alerted as public members when the Macomb County chairman and CEO said, you know, I don't really like what's coming down and being negotiated in the judge. And then once he made some comments, the judge said, you can't come to the meetings. And so he was excluded. The reason I say that is I've attended a few meetings in which there's been presentations, and I have the highest respect for the people in the DWSD and Sue McCormick who heads that operation. But when we've asked questions, and I've asked questions, they've been very politely saying, you know, we're under a judge order not to talk about that. And so I just have a feeling that there is going to be some significant increase in pressure and charges from both the downriver system from Wayne County and from this new agreement. And I don't know, they have not been disclosed to us, but I think we should all be aware that we might take some kind of action. If we can, we'll have to check with legal counsel, but I wanted to put everybody on notice for that. Last meeting I indicated the first month in July, the insurance company gave us $1 million refund, which over $1 million, we were happy. The fire department brought 2 grants of over $1 million. We were very pleased with that. Not to be undone, our DPW director, Bill Zimmer, told me that we've been notified we're getting an extra $500,000 for road monies, and the county's going to get some more. Now, I don't know exactly where this money is coming from because I thought they hadn't passed in the House and the Senate the same bill. Bill and I talked about it. While $500,000 sounds like a lot of money, it really isn't a lot to do repair, but we're thinking of dedicating it for local streets. So that's where we're going to emphasize it. That's where most of our residents, they'll call, and oftentimes they're told, you're on the list, and they wonder how we're on the list, and it really depends on how big a repair and how many dollars we have. So it's been a good July for cash flow purposes, and people are waiting in line every day paying their taxes. So it looks like cash-wise.
Yeah.
But many of these monies are restricted. So they're, you know, the road money can only be spent on roads, and that's where we're going to spend it on. So that's my report.
Good, thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Councilman Kozinski.
Mayor, is there, maybe Councilor Miatke might address this, is there any precedent for using the funds that were described for legacy purposes?
In terms of using legacy costs as part of the factors that are considered in setting a rate?
Yes.
That can be done. I mean, it could be potentially justified. The real issue is how they do it and whether or not they're already being covered in terms of the existing rates and why they didn't catch it before or why they did not do it before. And unfortunately with the county, some of these things seem to be driven much more by their need to balance their budget than anything that's legally justified. And I think that's prudent that the mayor has raised this issue and very appropriate.
So it's not been done before?
No.
Okay.
They're on a pay-as-you-go basis, and they're indicating, they actually hired an actuary to determine the legacy cost for healthcare predominantly. We know pension-wise they're about 44%.
44, it's
Yeah.
on the base.
So that's one issue, and they're indicating about a $900 million shortfall for where they should be in pensions. One of the items, we're the only community that has not passed the memo of understanding in the downriver system. I have purposely not put that forward to you. And my thought, although I'm going to check with the attorneys, the other 11 communities, Lincoln Park's not a member, so they haven't passed one. Passed resolutions to continue kind of as is. My feeling, this is a significant change that may be coming, so I did not submit the resolution for approving the memo of understanding. And what I think I'm going to suggest is maybe we put some language dealing with rates. And I figure we have nothing to lose but say, we don't want to continue as is, or we're willing to continue, but if the county is thinking of changing the rates and putting new items in there, we got to negotiate that, and that's not in any of these resolutions. I don't know that everybody is aware of what I kind of am anticipating, and that's why I told all of you, is that I don't think you're going to read it in the paper. You're going to read it after it happens, but I'm telling you that my gut feel is that the county is going to increase the rate significantly, and it's going to be for these legacy costs, which I believe they have outlined in their consent decree, because they want to get into the contracts and talk about wages and legacy costs.
And so dovetail potentially on that, if they haven't done it in the past, then it makes you wonder why it is that they're doing it now, and is it potentially just a way to double bill us? Because essentially if they're paying us, or we're paying as we go, and we've already paid a justified rate, why should we end up having to factor in an entirely new cost that we've never had to deal with before? It's one of the reasons also why I'm looking at the City of Detroit novation contract, which very closely, because I have concerns about.
She called you, right?
Yeah, and she tried to tell me it wasn't a big deal. So I'm going to have to look at some of the, and it's like, why do we have to have a novation? Why do we have to give up any possible claim against the City of Detroit in order to end up making this work? Why don't we just do a straight-up assignment? That would be what we would normally do. That's what you would do in any sort of lease situation typically, and you have to have this novation. So, some more of the same sort of stuff.
Councilman Constant?
Well, Mayor, but isn't the whole regional authority still under the jurisdiction of Judge Sean Cox?
Yes. And that's why when I asked Sue McCormick a question, right away there was an attorney from DWSD right next to her, and he said, "I'm sorry, Mayor, she cannot answer that question. We're not permitted by the judge to talk about certain issues." And all I can tell you is I think that's one of the issues. And so there were 4 or 5 of us that didn't get answers. We were told, like, the judge said no talking about these certain circumstances. And so I've been told, like I said, that the Macomb County CEO started talking about the agreement, and the judge said, you can't come to the meetings. I just want Wayne County and Oakland. I do have the Oakland County representative is a good friend of mine. We worked together in Ernst years ago. I have talked to him, and he has been politely, and he said, I'd love to share this information. I cannot share it with you. The judge has made it very, very clear. We are not to talk to anybody about this, and it's like, okay, now the rates are due, and they're coming, and I think we're headed for a big surprise in the rates. I'd be surprised if there's not huge increases in both of them. And for the ratepayer, I mean, and that was my comment. Sue McCormick understood it. I said, it's going to be the mayors and the council chairman and the superintendents, the supervisors in this meeting. They're going to take the brunt from our residents. Give us a say.
Yeah. Well, the judge was born and raised in Dearborn Heights, as you probably know. So.
We've had 2 Supreme Court justices, at least, right?
Now federal judge, yeah.
So for the attorneys sitting up here, you guys, I expect to see your name as a judge someday.
Okay. Anything else on the table? Clerk Pachevic?
Believe it or not, the November election is quickly coming upon us. We're in the process. I've talked to the printer. We have our absentee applications ordered. However, The county still has to do some things in order for us to get them addressed to each requestee and sent out. So as soon as the county does their part, we are ready to go and get those sent out. So hopefully you'll see those within the next couple weeks. County is involved in a primary election on Tuesday in several communities, and that's a little bit of the holdup. The other thing is I constantly am asking for election workers. Please, if you know anybody, refer them. Computer skills are required. Pays $130 for the day plus some other costs for training. Every election we have some that leave us, so it takes 104 people at the polls to man that, and we don't have them. So please, please, please consider that. And if you have any questions or concerns, you can always call the clerk's office. Thank you. They have to be registered voters, that's all. They don't even have to be county. They can be, we are getting a lot of our workers lately from outside the city, friends of friends and stuff, so yeah, just a registered voter.
Okay. Is there anything else from the table? Then at this time, if anyone has any announcements, things happening, going on in the city, come to the podium. Mike?
Hello, Council Chair and Mayor. Just wanted to talk about our summer reading program this year. As we wind up the summer reading program, we come in at over 667 signups and over 1,000 hours read. We have had a huge attendance at our programs this year. This is probably the busiest year that I can remember. We've just had one packed program after another, so I've been really encouraged by that. Our finale celebrations will be this weekend and will be from 1 to 3 p.m. at Carolyn Candy Library this Friday and from 1 to 3 p.m. this Saturday for JFK. We will have food, games, prizes, entertainment from a local magician and lots more, so come on out. I also want to thank everyone who volunteered to help the summer reading program this year. We had a large crew of teens who helped out through the summer, many of them part of the local NHS program. Thanks to the fire department, police department, DPW, J&M Towing for their help with the truck rally this year, and Parks and Rec Department for use of their tables and tents, and the Friends of the Library that sponsored so many of our events. So I want to say thank you to all of them. I also wanted to mention a program tomorrow night at 7 p.m. at Carolyn Candy Library. Join Ronald Broekman of the Car Hobby Connection as he discusses 51 years of the Mustang. He will be going over the roots of the original 1964 Mustang, its racing heritage, and why the Mustang is alive and well as it looks to the future. That's all for now. Thank you for your time, and see you at the library.
Thank you. Any more announcements? Things happening in the city? Then at this point, if anyone has any questions or concern, please direct them to me. If you would like to talk to another council member, the mayor, a department head, etc., please let me know, and I will ask him or her if they would like to respond. Councilman Berry will keep track of your time. You will have 3 minutes. After you give your name, street, and the city you reside in, when 15 seconds are left, he will hold up this sign, and when your time is finished, he will hold up that sign. So at this particular point, does anyone have anything they wish to bring before us? Okay.
Suzanne Todd, Academy Street. At the July 14th, 2015 council meeting, Mayor Paletko said that the city had received a bonus check for $1 million from the MMRMA for a decrease in the city's liability claims. For those not familiar with the acronym MMRMA, which I was not, it means the Michigan Municipal Risk Management Authority. This is a public self-insurance pool founded in 1980 that provides liability and property coverage to municipal governments that are self-insured in Michigan. Dearborn Heights is a self-insured city. However, what was telling is what the mayor didn't say, which is what is going to be done with this unexpected bonus of $1 million. This $1 million could provide some relief for those whose flood claims were not honored by the city or towards having our streets cleaned on a regularly scheduled basis, or more police patrol hours for trouble spots in our cities, like Heather Lane Park, just to name a few. However, at the special meeting held on July 21st, 2015, when Councilwoman Hicks Clayton queried the mayor as to where the money would be put, our mayor said that this $1 million was already anticipated and had already been placed in the budget. If they had not received it, there would have been layoffs. How can a mayor who boasts about being a CPA present a budget with this counting of the chickens before the eggs are hatched kind of thinking? Mayor, you did this before with the incinerator property, and look where it got the city. And yet you are doing it again, and always at the taxpayer's expense. However, most disturbing is the threat that the mayor laced his answer with. That would be layoffs if the city hadn't received this money. In other words, don't question me on this because I'm putting the money where I want it. And if I can't put it where I want it, there will be layoffs as punishment for not doing it my way. Was the council given a chance to decide where this bonus million would be put? If not, that was plain wrong, and you overstepped your boundaries, Mayor. We are charged excessively for our water, more than any other city around us, so that there are literally millions of dollars in the water fund to be loaned to the general fund when the mayor's budget can't meet end-of-year expenses. In the summer taxes of 2014, we were still charged for a CSO tariff that had over $6.8 million in it as of June 30th, 2014. This is against the law. If it wasn't for Troy Brown's constant asking about the CSO fund for months on end, I am convinced the mayor would have kept charging us if this fund had not been questioned. Also, let's not forget the Headley override. We residents voted for that, which significantly raised our taxes and not only got us out of debt, a debt that happened during this administration's watch, but is now giving the budget several $1 million a year.
3 minutes.
Mayor, stop making the residents pay for your inability to produce a balanced budget.
That is not
Mr.
fair.
Chairman, if I might respond.
Okay, I was going to go ahead.
Because this is a very unfair and nasty attack. I'm really surprised. But the $1 million that was in, I don't remember threatening layoffs, but it is true if there was $1 million shortfall. But the fact of the matter is that was included in the budget.
Yep.
And of the money, some of it goes to the water department and some goes to general fund because it's one policy, if you will, one self-insured, and we do account for it based upon the fund. So I would say 40%, maybe 35%, the controller's not here tonight, goes to the water department. And it does. It helps pay for police and recreation and senior programs. And it was a line item. We talked about it at budget time.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
the arguments and nastiness in the last comments are really uncalled for. We're one city. We work together. And you're welcome to your opinion, but it's obviously wrong.
But you are correct on all that. And also, I might just want to say, the public should be praising us because we have cut down on all the different lawsuits and the money that normally would have been spent. So that's why we're getting these refunds, because of the work that has been done by the administration and this board right here.
With the support of the council.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Correct. So that's why, and not every community does this. They get increased in rates, so. Okay, anyone else wish to bring anything for us?
Lisa's comment,
I
Excuse me,
don't
she's had her
Lisa's
time.
comment, but you've had your 2 minutes. Ray?
Okay, I'll be back next time.
Sure.
Steve Roberts,
Or Steve.
Penny Street. My complaint is the people walking in the street instead of on the sidewalks. Why do we have sidewalks since people don't use them? And how much is that ticket for walking in the street?
I don't know for sure on the ticket. That would be up to the judge. Again, we have this problem all summer. It's just society has changed, and they use the streets as compared to sidewalks. When we grew up in the city, we walked on the sidewalks. You only played ball or something in the street now and then. But we're out there. The officers try to tell the kids when they see them, use the sidewalks. But then, I've explained before, changing community, some of our new residents, they're taught from other cities maybe to walk into the streets. A, they don't have sidewalks. B, it might be dangerous to walk down a sidewalk near open fields and that. So we're trying to stay on it. It just, it's changing times.
We used to get our butts spanked when we walked on the sidewalk. I don't know about you.
Walked in the
You
street.
walk on the streets.
Yep.
Yeah.
Council Chair? It is a violation of the law to end up actually walking and in the street. It's clear. I had a ticket for the city several years ago, and I was like, really, we do have this? And yeah, we do. I mean, it's specifically covered.
Does that include
In
like
fact, I think it
riding
is a
bikes on the
misdemeanor.
street and all too?
Just walking in the middle of the street, walking on the side of the street, we've had that happen a few times. It's rare that you see a ticket, but it's normal if someone just ignores what the officer says and the officer ended up coming back.
It's like impeding traffic.
Well,
It's an impeding
potentially
traffic.
more
Yeah.
because someone's going to potentially not be seen and get
Right.
run over.
Just the guy pushing a wheelchair down the middle of the street.
This is a wheelchair issue?
Pardon?
Is it a wheelchair issue?
Well, this one guy, all the time, down gully, he goes to the gas station, he pushes the guy back up, he walks in gully, on the road of gully, instead of the sidewalk.
You might consider the thought that the sidewalks may not be as level or as straight as you would expect in a community, so that they're using a means of getting there quicker and on more level.
Just a little
Pavement.
bit dangerous on gully.
Oh, it's dangerous, there's no question. I'm not questioning that. All I'm suggesting that there might be some reasonable explanation of what's going on. I know of an incident where
Thanks,
a
Steve.
person avoids walking on a sidewalk in a certain area where there are a collection of dogs, so that they have the protection of some distance between the dogs, and so therein is a violation to walk on the street. So who do you blame, the dog owner or the person walking in the street? So,
Yep. Okay. Anyone else?
Hussein Al-Hajj Hanover Street. I'm wondering, was there any answer back regarding the mitigation program?
Answer on the
Mitigation program?
mitigation program.
Purchasing.
14 houses.
Oh.
No.
Mayor, where are we at that, or?
We won't hear till the end of the year.
Oh.
It's- we-
Oh, the end of
There's a cutoff. They all had to be submitted. We submitted on time, but they said they wouldn't announce any awards until the fall.
So it won't be till the fall that we'll hear.
Okay. One more issue.
Mhm.
Last 2 days, I opened my door, I found this violation on my door. I go outside and look around. Where do I have tall grass or weed? I have some shrubs and flowers around my house. Does ordinance consider that as long grass and weed?
If I may.
Well,
If I may.
maybe, Jack, if the flower beds are grown and overgrown, is that considered, okay, so that's, if they are, then that's,
So we basically, for a flower to grow up healthy, we have to keep on turning it down, tearing down. So what's the purpose in growing a flower
I
and
don't
making your
think
house
they would
look
consider
nice?
flowers, but are there weeds growing with the flower?
No weeds growing around the flower whatsoever.
I don't know. You have to,
Did you ask the gentleman
You call
from
the number, nobody picks up. You leave a voicemail.
And they do get a few calls, but if you'd like to stay and address it with Mr. McIntyre, I'm sure he'd be happy to help you.
I'm kind of like concerned, instead of letting people make their houses look beautiful, nice and neat, give them ordinance. DPW, I've spoken to the mayor almost over a month ago about our street and the filthiness in our street. Supposedly somebody gonna go out there and clean it up. It's been more than a month. It's not the first time I've spoken about it, and I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be the last time. We're fed up.
I know
Lane Park, I believe, Mr. Bear, I texted you a picture of the last meeting. I do believe you've seen how dark it is. Light it up. These are where you guys gotta give up violation, and that's what you guys gonna be looking for, rather than looking about flower beds and stuff. They grow different kind of flowers. There's no such thing as flower has to be grown in a specific height or a specific width. Cut the park on time. I had to cut Heather Lane myself. Go cut that on time. Have DPW cut it on time. Have DPW go out there and clean up those streets. Have DPW go light parks. You guys have got more violation than any other resident in the city. You guys, up till now, we don't have an answer back about the mitigation program. You guys started with it back in September. We never heard about it till like
He
probably
just
around
gave you an
April
answer
or
on the
May.
mitigation program.
You
He
guys
just
hid
gave
it.
you an
You guys
answer.
hid it away from us for almost about 7 months.
We hid
Until we
it?
finally found out about it, it's going to be almost about a year, and we don't have an answer back about it. We asked you guys would tell us, talk to the mayor's assistant. Talk to the mayor's assistant. She has no clue about what she's doing, what she's up to. She doesn't know anything.
That's out of order, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, anyone else wish to bring anything? Ray?
I don't understand what these people are.
Good evening, council, folks. Ray Muscat, Havelock Street. Steve was talking about the kids walking in the street. We have that, I think it's rampant throughout the whole city. And I guess what he's really wants to say, and didn't say it, you kind of give these kids a toot in the horn, and you get the little birdie, you know, and they yell at you and go like to want to kick your car when you just toot the horn, and it gets a little frustrating, you know. Somebody gets hot-tempered and want to get out and slap a kid, they got a lawsuit. But, you know, kids have got to walk on a sidewalk, but where do the kids walk on Cherry Hill? There's no sidewalks on Cherry Hill, so they walk in on Cherry Hill. There's a lot of neighborhoods, Beach Daily, some places on Beach Daily don't have sidewalks, okay? So, you know, we talked about this before, and there was some association matters about they can't have sidewalks. I say public safety goes beyond the association rules, and they should have to have sidewalks, okay? I've seen kids walking from school, either from Crestwood or from Divine Child or whatever school. They're on Beach Daily in the wintertime. There's no place to walk but in the street, 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I've witnessed it many times. The other thing is, you know, the city officials want the residents to help them when they see violations to call them in, and we do. And problem I'm having, it's frustrating to me, is when I call and I see a violation, like no permit. The person has a permit, but they're not posting it. I've called on a house twice now. I just gotten feedback that the house has a permit, but why aren't they forced to post the permit? To me, if it's not posted, they don't have one. And if it's not posted the day they start working, as far as I'm concerned, they're in violation of that said ordinance of it's got to be posted, and they should be fined. And it's the contractors, as far as I'm concerned, responsible for posting that, not the homeowner. These people sign a contract and saying everything is all said and done. The contractor knows doggone good and well they're supposed to post these permits. Am I right? So why aren't we going after them? I've reported the one on Charlesworth a few times. They do have the permit. Why isn't it posted? We had the same problem with a fence issue down there by Kennedy Street not too long ago. Not posted. Well, I don't see how you can not for it. If there's an ordinance that says it has to be posted. No, I understand you can't physically, but the minute that you know that they're not posted, you should have issued a ticket 2 weeks ago. And it should have been done 2 weeks ago. That's my complaint.
I don't know that the ticket wasn't written, but we are
Well, I'll tell you what, if a ticket was written, I'm sure it would have been posted, and it's not posted as of today. So that's my big beef, so thank you.
Thanks, Ray. Anyone else?
Motion to adjourn.
Moved by Councilman Berry, second by Councilman Constant, to adjourn the meeting. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.